All right. What up, y'all? What up, all my dreamers and dreamers? It's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. I wanted to jump on here. I wanted to do a live today just to holler at y'all real quick. There's a lot of things going on. Yes, I know. We all know. But I wanted to give you guys some inspiration and just open your minds a little bit on other things you can be doing just to get your spirit and your mind right. And if you're a fashion designer and you have a brand, any questions, anything, I tell you, always leave it in my comments. I get back to you even if you're not watching it now. And yeah, so let me see what I got here. A lot of things, a lot of things. If you're just tuning into the channel, my name is Mickey Fenty, and I'm a fashion designer out of NYC. My brand is called Inspired by Dreamzzz. It's a rebrand from my first brand that I had 13 years ago, and we just getting it up. You know what I mean? I'm trying to design something for you guys that will be a little more original than the things that you see on your everyday that's out there. So that's what I've been up to. See, I just jumped on it. I just pressed live, and I got other things I should have put in place, but it's all good. It's all cool. Yeah, man. If you guys have missed it, I did 2 parts to the Diddy's party, and it's not nothing really slandering them. It's just putting a little animation together. You know, giving just bringing the whole situation into an animation format and giving not a whole light on the case, because that's a whole different thing. You know, at this point with the whole Diddy situation, so many allegations, so many things are coming from so many different places that I think as a community, as a culture, we have to all wait and see what's going on. But we know something wicked is going on, and as time reveals itself, we're getting to see just the ugly parts of just being behind the scenes in the music industry. And it's a sad thing. I feel sad, and to be honest with you, it's crazy when it's kind of like when you have an icon or you have a mogul, especially in the black community, like there's a sense of divide between us, because I think from what I've been seeing and what I've been watching, I never like I kind of like try to give everything a fair shot, but I see a divide in black people on how different groups think. And I think each group has their rights, and each group, so black people have their wrongs. So let me just tell you the difference between what I'm saying about different types of black people. Okay, we have uppity black people. Those are the people where they've reached success in some form of fashion, and they feel like some way, somehow, they want to look down on the people that's behind them. And, they kind of like down people, but and in all, they made it to the point where they're at. So you can't knock them from making it to that point. You're just kind of like you could have carried yourself better as far as how you treat your own people. Just giving them some maybe inspiration or something to bring them or teach them on how to get to that. Some people are not like that. Some people, they don't want to be where they was at. They don't want anybody coming behind them. That's just them. And I guess in this world you have to know what different types of people. Then you have the black people where we're kind of like, we look at a situation, whether it's black, white, and is it right, is it wrong, and you kind of like, you basically, you there's a lot of feeling in the in this decisions, because it's off of that person's pattern, how you feel about the person. Has this person has this person like showed us any traits that could lead into this, that maybe we could say, yeah, that seems like it could happen. Then you have another black person where it's like kind of like, you're gonna hear this going around, worshiping celebrities. You hear a lot about worshiping celebrities. Then some people just like celebrities. We all love celebrities. I don't feel like some people over, like, like back in the day, you would see like people fainting at the Michael Jackson concerts. Those are people kind of like they're taken off of their feet because of just the status and the love they have for that person. So it kind of blinds them to wrongdoings or anything that you're taking away the human side of that celebrity, and you're making them a figure of like a statue, like somebody that's worshiping a celebrity. And those opinions come across where, like, you know, he did so much for the culture, and how could we do this to our own people? The thing I wanted, this, and it's going to be hard. This is going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard. But the thing I wanted to explain to people, it's not like we knew, as far as the people just seeing the whole situation, it's just popping up. It's not like everybody knew what was going on behind the scenes. So you got to give some people some leeway. This is something that's been presented to us. And I hear a lot of people saying, you know, they're trying to take us down, those people. Look, in these times, you can't really do the they, those, them. If you're gonna say somebody's trying to take you down, say who that person is. There's no more of they, those, them. What are you saying by they? Do you mean white people? Because I'm seeing a lot of cases, people are, and it just pointing the finger, but the real finger that should be pointed is at yourself. Everybody as a human being holds a responsibility on the things that they do. Now, if I and I'm not blind to the fact that I'm not one of those black people that's blind to the fact that, you know, white people have more, of course, even on YouTube, white people have more advantages. I know who I am as a black man. So the way I move as a black man, I know that I have to work 100 times harder. I have to make sure all of my I's are dotted and my T's are crossed. I have to make sure all of that as a black person. I might on YouTube, I might not get as many views as a person that's doing less than me or doing less work than me, or probably even the same content because I'm black. But these are things that I come into the field and I know this. So I maneuver at a different energy. I'm not maneuvering with the energy if you think that I'm maneuvering with. I'm maneuvering knowing who I am and how people are taking me, and how this, you have to know how to maneuver a little better, because yes, we do want change, and we do understand that there is a divide. There's different ways people get treated because of different things, and sometimes it's status, sometimes it's skin color, sometimes it's just how the person is. But there's a lot of times you have to just like, it's only, no matter how we look at it as a human, how we feel about each other, it's good and it's bad. Now it's hard to say, you know, I feel like people do get charged in other communities for this. I feel like if you don't know the community as much, or you're not in tune to the community, you might not see the, you know, it's not going to be front page. I understand that, and there's a reason why hip hop hits front page more than any other genres. It's because we took over the culture. Hip hop is the culture. There's a mix of hip hop in everything that people do. This is no more like, we're not living back in a day where, you know, hip hop is it's over here and then they're over there. No, hip hop is in everything that we do. Even hip hop is in cereal. Hip hop is in, it's this is a, it's more, you know, I really, the other night, I know this might sound crazy to some, but this made a whole lot of sense to me. I said, we need somebody in hip hop, like a hip hop president, someone that we can say that's the president of hip hop, and how he would get paid is from everybody that participates in hip hop. Everything, every piece of money that they get, it goes, some of that money goes to the president, because he's keeping control, he's keeping structure. And this is how you can build something on a better platform, where you can have a little more control, like they do, on what goes out and what you want to represent the culture. Being that YouTube and these platforms allow people to just, you know, put their talents up and then display it, that's where you find people that might be, you might catch them at their learning points, and those mistakes are being highlighted, and that person goes viral. And yes, that person's going to have potential to grow. But now that we're seeing, it's like people don't want to see people grow in front of them. And am I saying that right? Like, people don't want to see like people's mistakes. If you make a mistake, they're gonna look at you on the mistake for the rest of your career, and that's not how it should be. The only difference between back then and now is that we are seeing people make the mistakes on camera. So it's not like the mistakes weren't being made. It's just that in these times, with social media and everything, it makes the situation a whole lot different. So you're gonna have a lot of trial and error artists that they're not really artists, they're just trying the genre and just trying to see how it works. And you're gonna find a lot of people that's really serious about it. But we need some kind of structure in hip hop, And I feel like that is the reason why when opinions get splurted out there and nothing really sticks to the wall besides the negative stuff is because that's the thing that's been relatable in the culture, being that just where the culture starts from. It starts at a struggling point to a triumphant point. So it's going to be a part in this whole war, this whole argument, where you're going to find people that's starting that's having a problem and people that's ending having a problem. It's because there's no structure. The people that's ending is probably going to have money issues, and the people that's starting, they're probably going to just have like like trying to get into the game. I think the smartest thing right now, we needed structure in hip hop. That's one thing that made the game kind of, even from back in the day, I feel like we needed structure in this game. Look at all the females doing so good. You want to know why? Because females, they have a lot of structure in their life before they came into it. A lot of us guys, we don't come in with structure. We come in and trying to make it. The females have a set out structure of how they want to present themselves, how they know already how they want to, the crowd is going to take them as far as their looks. Every day, a female gets complimented. So they take that in stride. You can't knock them. I feel like without the females, hip hop right now it would have tanked. It would have tanked without the females. So when I hear things like the female, I think female MCs did a lot for the culture because without them, we can't even be men. We have no structure by ourselves, and coming together makes things go. You guys, just the back and forth, yada yada yada. That's not gonna make it in, and even we're not gonna find any solutions. I just feel like I just felt like I wanted to tell you guys that, like, I see a lot of pointing fingers, and it's not about what race a person is. The culture hip hop is for everybody. It's for everybody. It's not just one set of people. It is for everybody. But we need some kind of structure so where when something like this happens, we could all have some kind of sit down or some kind of discussion that kind of understands why this is happening. I feel like this is happening because we don't have a separation in social media. We got grown folks with kids. We got we need some kind of separation. We need some kind of like genres within the culture that we could stick to, and we can So when even I consider Beyonce. I don't know about you guys, but I consider Beyonce in the hip hop culture. I don't care. I consider Beyonce in the hip hop culture, and when I look at B, I like the fact that she takes her independence and she goes where she wants with it, and people understand that because of the platform she built for herself. She lets you know, if I want to try country, I'm gonna try country. It doesn't matter. This is her roots. We should be more looking like, okay, I didn't know you was into that. Okay, now let me check that out. That's how it should be, and we should all build like that. So when we see something like a Diddy or something and these lights go down, we can have a better understanding because it ends up that we start fighting each other on who's right or wrong. We didn't do it. Remember that. You got to remember that. We didn't do that. Some people make mistakes, but some people don't make these kind of mistakes. It comes from having it's a lack of respect of just the females in the culture. Period. They were screaming this for the longest. It was a lack of respect. You know, and I think that divide right there is gonna it causes this type of behavior because people don't in hip hop people don't take no, like, some people don't take it serious. Some people take no as like, okay, I'm gonna do. If you say no to somebody, they're ready to get you. That's not how it should be. It should, you should understand from even a young man. I understood, like, when talking to chicks, not every chick is gonna like you. Not every chick is gonna like you, no matter how you pull up, or that's not how life works. And you have to take that and know how to work with it. Hold on, you guys, I'm blind, so if you see me looking right here, I'm trying to read it out. Hold on. Uh, what up, y'all? I really appreciate it. Usually when I'm yibbity yapping, you know, I don't. I'm just talking. I wait for you guys to watch it after, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. Um, I got the hoodie on. I don't really like pushing it in you guys' face like that. That's another thing with clothing. Everybody sees people in their minds when you're okay as a brand owner in your mind. If you don't feel like everybody's just shopping all over the place and people are buying up things every day, give people a chance to understand your brand because in these times, I think if you really think about it, this is how I look at life. I consider myself in like, I'm like middle class, you know, as far as like growing up wise. I feel like I came up middle class, and I feel like everybody has a struggle. Even if you are rich, you're spending less. I don't know where anywhere else, but in the NYC, even if you were rich, you're spending a little less. If you're in the middle class, you're spending a little less. And if you're lower income, you're still receiving help, I guess, from the government. So that's kind of like how the basis of life out here in New York City goes. And you have to look at it like that. So don't look at it like, oh, people are not buying my brand, this and that. Maybe they don't have it to buy the brand. Maybe they only have it set in their head to buy that one Louis shirt. It sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but that one Louis shirt to them opens up a void to them that make them forget that they might not be doing as bad, or just makes them feel that burst of. That's how I look at it. I don't look at it like, oh, they're not buying into the brand. No, you have to make them feel like when I put that hoodie on, I feel good about myself. I don't feel like I'm out there and I don't have this, I don't have that. It takes my mind off of that. And that's where I'm trying to get to with clothes. I'm trying to let people understand that it doesn't matter how much you spend. It's how you feel in the clothes you're wearing. When I feel good in clothes, it doesn't matter who's around. I feel like, okay, I'm me. This is myself. This is my innocent me. I like to say this is me in the flesh. I like what I'm wearing. It suits me. It fits me, and that's how I want other people to feel in the clothes that I wear. So I want people to understand that it's not like people don't want to buy your clothes. It's just the fact that people might not have it in these times. We're living in some hard times. These are the bumps and hurdles you have to get over. Just because you see people spending every day on social media, you don't honestly know how they got the money to spend it, or you're just making assumptions. You can't do that. People will come along the way. Good people will come along the way. My last brand, Jock, came along. I had a couple people from the Love and Hip Hop cast that wore my stuff. I had a few artists that really supported. So I never knock artists. There's a lot of artists that support, and then there's some artists that they take away. You have to be very careful as a brand owner of that. Some people they just want to take, 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 take. With my last brand, I used to give surprises, give goodies and stuff. I kind of, even my family was telling me, don't give out so much. Don't keep giving out. But I wanted and still want to do that because sometimes that feeling of just getting something for somebody, you never know. Some people never got any surprises from any other people in their whole entire lifetime. So those little things made the brand grow, and I want to do those things as this brand grows, with people, just helping people. And like I also sponsored it's for the summer camp. So I'm looking to do things like that with the clothing brand to build it slowly with people. I want to build it within the minds of people first, and jumping straight to their pockets. And that's kind of like where I'm going with it. So when you hear Inspired by Dreams, you hear a lot of people talking about dreams. Just remember your boy, man. Remember that this is not something I just made yesterday. This is something I've been working on all the way up to this point. And now we reach a point where people are, they're realizing that your dreams and what you might not be able to see on just on a face value level doesn't necessarily mean it's not important, because my whole life, as you can see, animation and stuff like that, I always made things from my mind. I never made things from what I see out there. Now those stuff inspire me as well, but at the same point, when you make from your true authentic self, nobody can ever copy you. Nobody can ever be more unique than you are. Nobody. There's nobody. People are afraid of that. Nobody could ever be more unique than you are. So when you make it from here, nobody can tell you what's next. Nobody can tell you what's next. And I want people to feel that way. It gives the brand that exclusive feel. Like, what is he going to drop next? And they know that it's not going to be something that's duplicated out there. Now, as far as the canvas, I want to explain that to people. When I say I'm not doing something that's out there, it doesn't mean that I'm not gonna design a crop top for my ladies, or the guys that with the dope cuts. I'm gonna have the same crop tops and the same. That's the canvas of the art to me. That the clothing, that's the canvas. My art is when I put what I gotta do on it. That's what I mean. So I'm gonna have the crop tops, all of that stuff, but it's just the designing part of it. That will be the things that I want to resonate with people, because that resonates with me. Um, yeah, man. So yeah, man. This is back on this live, man. It's so much. I don't know how the energy I read right now, as far as like the whole situation, the whole hip hop. I just felt like we need a little more structure. I've been listening to a lot more R&B because it resonates more true. And I'm not saying that there's not hip hop that doesn't resonate true, but I feel like, you know, when somebody gets in their gel, I like to hear them at that point. I don't want to hear when you're battling so and so or maybe that other artist I might like too. I don't want to get in between that because then it becomes it comes to a point where like artists want you to pick between who you like better, and I don't want to do that. Like I like a lot of artists, and some of them don't even like each other. That sucks. I mean, that totally sucks because I'll never get what I want. But I always see like I seen one time like all these females doing all this. I seen like that's why I put that in my dreams world. Like Ice Spice, all the females come together and have like like a big battle arena, and just do it for the ladies like a queen's event. We could never have that, you guys. You know why? Because some reason the energy right now is versus. Let's get off the versus energy. The summertime's coming. We want to enjoy ourselves. It's time to be barbecuing, hitting the park. I don't know how you do it in your states, but out here we like to. I'm not into clubs, but I do like gatherings. I do like just I might do some lives outside in the backyard. I have a little nice little backyard out there. I could do little barbecues and just get you guys more in tune instead of being me versus you. What's that about? Like I hate that stuff. I mean, sometimes it's good, but put it like this: versus fills the seats, but it doesn't necessarily bring people back to the show. A fight is always gonna attract people. Negative energy is always gonna attract people. But let's jump in our positive energy bag. Let's jump into positive energy and see how far we can take that. I'm pretty sure we probably open up another genre of music. By now, we should have had at least 2 or 3 genres of hip hop that we have never heard before. But what are we doing? We out here playing games. They out here playing games. Respecting somebody else comes from respecting yourself. When you look at somebody else and you say, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, and there's a problem within you. Because even though you might not like that stuff, it's like it still triggered you to point it out. Now, there's a lot of things we walk every day and we see that we don't like, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we point it out or let it stick to our mental or I try to if you move with a clear mind, let me just clear this because if you move with a clear mind, you don't look at your own people like the enemy. That's what I'm really trying to say. You don't. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. Okay, this is way back. Like, coming up, I wanted to do the music, and I was doing really good at the music. And nobody really knew the reason why I stopped at the point that I stopped. I stopped when my first single hit the radio. Yeah, Hot 97 105.1. It was playing all over the airwaves. It was called Copoloso. And I did it for the Ciroc drink. For those who know, you can look it up. You'll love the song even to this day. It's still on YouTube. It's not like I took it down or anything. But I stopped at that point because I seen something different, not only in hip hop, but for myself. I felt like I was worth more. I felt like I could contribute something else because they're getting me confused because they don't have no structure on there's no like talent based level. There's no structure. It's just like whoever it's like a rush in. I was coming in with DJ Big Cat, rest in peace. That's my dog. Miss him bad. But and I was at that point. I think I was doing it for him because like he believed in me so much. And shout out to Hollywood Chuck. He believed in me so much. At that point, I was at a point where I didn't want to stay, but I was still going and I was still giving it because I was a little older at that point where I seen things a little different. My life was changing. It was just like I was seeing things for what it actually was. And this happens to a lot of men, whether it be at an old age or somebody. If you're younger and you catch it, it's the best thing in your life because you start seeing things from a different perspective. You start treating people way better. You start seeing things for what it actually really is. And I just remember like saying to myself, you know what, I'm gonna be all right because everybody's trying to do this thing. And right, after that, I was so good that after I started producing, like I was so into the music that producing came like to me. So I started producing, putting out, and then I just said, hold up, let me pump the brakes. Let me analyze myself, see what I really want to do. Why do I want to do it? And I came up with the brand. That's when I came up with Goody Two Shoe. I wanted to I still kept it hip hop though because I was the first person on Instagram to put clothes with dancing. Doesn't that sound crazy? Like people always dancing, they dancing in clothes and they promoting. But I was the first one to have like choreography when the dancing, you dancing three people on the screen and then you have the clothes and it's still there on my page. And I felt like that's the music part that I never let go. Just having the people out. So I went into that bag. And life was life in a couple years after that. Things happened in the family, and I just said, you know what? I met so many great people though. That's where the love came to. I'm not gonna just say the love was just because I love doing it. It's what it brought to me. So many good people. I remember this one lady. Her daughter had made me a picture. I still have the picture. I'm gonna show you guys. She had painted me a picture, and let me see. I don't want to get up, but she had painted me a picture. Next time I'm gonna show you on my live, and I was just touching people, and I felt like, you know what, this is what I want to do. And then later on, I would do a summer camp, and I would do a bunch of different things that made it more comfortable to me, making me say, I really love doing this. And life happens, things went down the family, and I stopped the brand, but I knew one day I was gonna rebrand, and that's when a couple months back I started thinking about, how am I gonna bring in? Am I gonna use the same name, or am I gonna start a new brand? And I said a rebrand, and I was gonna make it how I grew up my life, clean up the clothing a little bit because I went to St. John's and it was preppy school. It was a preppy school, so I wanted to make it like preppy streetwear and put that splash together. And we're here right now, and the reason why I feel like it was a better fit for me instead of just like rapping and doing music and things like that is because when you're when you're sent here to touch people and to make change in whatever way you can, it doesn't have to be a worldwide change, but it could be a change within a few groups of people. You want to find your best platform and you want to find the best way of doing it. And I just felt like the energy of hip hop at that time, even now, is not at its best coming together stages. I feel like we're gonna come together. I feel like we know in the black community, in any community, people come together with tragedy. With tragedy, tragic things happen. We don't have to be like that. People come together before that happens. And how I plan to do that is with fashion. So I usually, what I really want to do right now, I'm trying to build a brand. So I don't want to put too many pictures and things like that on here. But that's really how I express myself through my art and the things that I do. That's how I want to express myself. And so when you're wearing something, it's really either putting a message out there or just something how you feel inside and it just makes you feel good. That's what I really. So it's kind of like the same thing. I don't look at it as like it's not rapping. It's all part of the hip hop culture. But I was just thinking to myself, that's why I told you all the structure and having a hip hop president. Like, if you don't have structure in anything you do, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I didn't want to come on here and just down people for their wrongs or what they're doing. A lot of people do wrong, but when you do wrong to other people, you have to understand that's the part of the karma that it spreads. That part of the karma is never gonna go away because how you make somebody else feel about you carries on with an aura that stays around you. Now you can break that aura with another person. Every time you go around that person or whoever that person told about how you made them feel, that's when that still lives. So when you come in contact with people and you wanna present your best self, I would say you have to have a clear mind of who you are so you won't look at other people and misjudge them on who they are. And that makes you a better person. Every day you do that, trust me, you'll look at things in different. You won't point at you can't there's no way you could point at a whole culture and say that's them. 99 to 100% that's gonna be wrong. Not everybody thinks the same, treats people the same. I'm telling you, that's not what it is. We got to stop the finger pointing and just try to find people that feel like how we feel and group, stay in groups, and then that's how we have discussion amongst each other and come to some kind of, some kind of medium where we can agree on something. Because I did not want to I did not want to just jump on here and just talk about the Diddy. Everybody's talking about this Diddy thing, and it's crazy. I did 2 episodes. I know this is gonna go on probably like longer than the OJ case, which I know. But you have to understand, if it's stressing you out, it's making you overthink, it's making you feel some kind of way. Relax on it. Relax on it. It's not your situation. A lot of times, people on social media, it's like you're going through the situation with the person. Somebody gets shot, you keep looking at them. Then you gotta, when you go to work, that thing is on your mind. Oh my goodness, now you're looking back on social media. That, you making it a part of you. Don't do that. Do not do that. You're hurting yourself when you do things like that. Trust me. Listen to your boy Mickey. You're hurting yourself when you do things like that. If it's something in that situation where you can relate to or show some light, shed some light on, that's different, because you might have an expertise in something that they might not see that you can offer. But we're gonna see a lot of this. Trust me. Like I told you in the last live, Diddy's not the only one. If you think that Diddy or these people, he's not the only one. It's sad, but my heart tells me that it's gonna be more people getting exposed on things and how they treated other people. And I just hope that when it's all over, that hip hop can actually stand on its 2 feet again and have a better presentation this time around. Don't just make hip hop just about, oh, this is making a whole bunch of families rich, because getting a whole lot of money doesn't necessarily build a culture. It's who you give the money to, how the money is being divided, and how is it going back. Like, if you're giving if the kids in Chicago are making a lot of money and they're putting that money into buying new guns and things like that, well, you're not really helping by giving. Now, if they're taking that money and moving out, like how I've been seeing them moving in places like LA, ATL, trying to change their life, now you know that good karma is working. That music that they're putting out is gonna get better no matter, even if they think it's not, because being that that music moved you from A to B, and A was a bad place and B was a good place, you're gonna want to work hard from your heart to never go back to A. That's the difference. But if you're using that money and you're taking it and you're enhancing what you're doing in your criminal activities, whatever you got going to, you know, keep it real as far as on that level of thinking, that's gonna be your downfall. That's the difference. When you, like, okay, good example. I was just talking about my boy Mano. The reason why I always support Mano, I don't even think he knows this, but here and there I've been, when you write on social media, you kind of let a person know your energy, how you feel towards them, and it's up to them to understand if it's real or not. Now, when I was coming up, I remember I had a show in a concert, right? Excuse me, pardon. That's crazy. In a club, I ain't never no concert. In a club, I had a show. It was like for my album. That's how I was doing it, because all the music was original. I was always like putting original music on mixtapes. So I had a show. Big Cat was I shout outs to Kaya Baby. She came out that night too. That was kind of dope too. Everybody, a few people came out, but as I'm setting up, Mano walks in. So I'm looking like, wait, Mano? Now it was one of those shows. It was a Big Cap. Big Cap set it up, so he might have not had known that it was my show. It could have been, because what Big Cap usually do, he'll cut out a little section in the club where it's your time to go Mickey, and then I start dropping my stuff. So he might have not know, but when he seen what was going on, that I had to get up on set, he stayed. He stayed. He watched. He stayed, and that meant a lot to me, because the fact that half of my family's from Brooklyn anyway, pops from Brownsville. We known out in Brooklyn, so it's kind of like Queens and Brooklyn. We like cousins. Like we get out this, get there real fast. So when I seen that, I'm like, it's crazy because the artists that you think won't represent or be there for you, showing right up. The ones that's because it was his come up too. You got to remember, this is around. I think I'm not sure if this was a little before hiatus. This was way before hiatus. Now I'm thinking, this, and my brother got the on camera, so everything I say I could pull up the footage. Y'all already know that I don't be into that line stuff. So I'm seeing him. He's to the left. He's over here sitting down. He's looking up. Everybody's in the crowd and stuff, and I'm just like, wow. I felt part of the culture on that day. We did a great show. I felt like I could have did better though because I was nervous. I was very nervous. I just always feel like I could do better, so don't knock me for that. But he was over there, and I was like, I never forget him for that. I never forgot him. It's like people that you came in contact with, and I remember from that point on. Would you believe that it don't matter what he do, I support him the best way I can. You know, like people putting out a bad word, I might just throw in like, nah, he ain't like that. It's just because you represented me, and that's just the type of person I am. So that's just getting a little taste of who I am. You know what I mean? Like I don't. You gotta hold. You gotta try to find, and it's not just about your tribe. Find people that got a heart that can understand way beyond what it's supposed to be. That could look at you as a person and say, you know what, it's a cool dude. You know that's when I was in that whole music trying to get into the game. I would never want to be a rapper in these times, and it's not no disrespect to nobody, but it's just that my life called for me for different things, and rapping is just like it's a different energy anyway. But you never ever forget people that treat you well, and that say that to say when you're going on your way up, you never know who you meet. And if you don't treat them right on your way down, you might see that same person. They might not go up as high as you. They might not make it to the billies. But when you really think about it, it's when you made it up there and pulled down that hurts more than even getting there in the first place. So it's how you treat people is everything in these times. I don't go around talking this and that about people. And these times it's hard because there's so many wrongs you can point out about people. Like, you don't see that? You don't see he's lying right there? But after a while, it's like, yeah, he's always been lying though. You know, it's like don't bring that. Don't put that in your spirit, man. Don't let these people fool you, man. You can have a happy life without all this to talk about. Oh, you need $1 million, this and that. You don't need all that. You don't need all that, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, and things will happen out the way God wants it for you. That's how I look at life. Everything. You can change me. You can tell me no different. You can ask anybody about. You can ask anybody about me, and they'll tell you the same thing. Cool dude. They always tell you hard worker. It's always the same thing. You never have in different sectors somebody's gonna talk about me different. I just don't get that, and that's because I keep a clear mindset of who I am and how I want myself to be presented. I ain't going out there like that, y'all. Just can't do it. I just cannot. I cannot do it. Another thing, maybe I was blessed because I never had a problem with the ladies. I always felt like more closer to the ladies than the guys. I see a lot of guys they like bundle up with the guys a lot. You know, that ain't me. Like I don't know what's going on these times, man. It's just it's crazy out there, man. It's very crazy out there. I got remember I told you guys I got some new hats coming too. I got some trucker hats, new designs, and I got a beanie coming. That's gonna be dope. I kind of wanted to put the beanie, but it's the design and it's the placements where you can design on the beanie. Where I wanted to design on the beanie is gonna be I'm gonna have to probably knit it myself. But then how many of those can I do? So those might be exclusive. I'm gonna be doing little things like that for the summertime. There's a couple pieces. It's gonna only have like 50 to 100 pieces, and I'll throw that out there, and then everything else will be on the site in bundles. But that's kind of like the stuff that makes me feel good about the brand too. I love you guys. You know that. You know that. I'm always gonna come up here and show you guys good vibes. I'm not gonna ever be the type of person to come up here and beef. And unless somebody set me off, then you're like, oh my goodness, somebody done set Mickey off. But I'm just not with that, y'all. I'm just not with it. These come in different colors too. This comes in. I think we got a purple right now. We got a red. Um, I don't think I got yellow up there yet though. I want to get the yellow in there, but hold on. but I gotta get some more colors and stuff. Yeah, I got a lot of things coming, you guys. Trust me. I'm your boys out here. I'm working. Summertime, no clubs, no parties, just straight grind. I'll be working for you guys. So when you guys go to the parties, you guys look good. You guys feel good. And that's it. I'm not really here. I like going out, like, on my own time, my own business. But I ain't putting everything online. I mean, come on. I got to keep some privacy to myself, right? Got to keep some privacy to myself. Um, if y'all ever need some hoodies or some drip that makes you feel good, I got the drip. I'm telling you, you're gonna feel good about it. The quality is really good. This particular hoodie, you're gonna get like I told you before, you get an extra logo on the side arm. So look out for that extra logo on the side arm. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but it's an extra one on the side arm. And they're back in stock. They are back in stock. Y'all messing with that You want to hear my? Let me show. My playlist is crazy right now. It's gonna sound crazy to y'all though. Beyonce, Rihanna. I know y'all probably be thinking I'm lying. Rihanna's my cousin. Y'all be like, oh, he's lying. Yeah, Rihanna's my cousin. One of those cousins who I didn't meet yet, I never met yet. I'm not gonna front to you guys. But I found out she was a family member. I love Rihanna though. Regardless if she was my family or not, I'd have still been repping her. I love Riri. She's one of my favorites. I was going back and rock. Yo, you guys go back and listen to Ali Vegas music. Go back and check that out. Deep. Um, what else? What else? Banks. Of course, Sir. Sir is a vibe. Always been my vibe. Sir has always been my vibe. Um, damn, everything is diddy 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 diddy. You know, I was in y'all know I was in the making of the band video. Me and my brother was in the making of the band video. I bet y'all ain't even know that, right? Y'all ain't know. We them two guys by the gate. If you look by the gate, just look by the gate when like the batting gate when they in the video, and you'll see us. Me and bro. Um, so I've been around. It's not like I haven't been around. It's just you guys getting to know me because I've been so distant as far as the social media. What else? What else? R&B, 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 R&B. Of course, Cardi B. Love me some Cardi B. How could you not love Cardi B? She's her authentic self. I mean, she's hurt. She lets you know she's hurt. I like that. You see her flaws. I like that. It's priceless. When a person just gets on there and be them their actual self, you gotta commend that. Don't ever make her feel like she has to be somebody else that she's not. Don't ever do that to people. Because it's hard enough just getting up on here talking to people when you're not really used to just being so talkative, or just showing people a little different part of your life. Oh, I like Evan Ray. Shout outs to Beehive, man. Beehive, they always respond back to me when I leave a little comment. Dope podcast. I don't know if you would call that a podcast or just a Beehive radio. I call it like a radio station. I love Beehive. Beehive is the coolest. Him and my boy, um, Wicked, the dope duo. This whole thing with Drake and Kendrick, man, I ain't feeling that energy. I feel like both of those guys make so much of great music. Why do they have to go back and forth? It's not. It's like it's kind of like a Nas and Jay-Z thing with them, man. It's kind of like y'all don't have to go back and forth unless y'all have personal issues towards each other. Your music is good enough to sell at the same times, different times. It doesn't matter. The more good music that we have in the pot is the better it is for society, for the world. Like, no matter what, do you guys understand that both of y'all beefing it? We like both of you guys. Come on now. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? And what is this need for to have a relationship? Having a relationship is very. It's not really a must. It's actually an add-on. Like, if it's not the right person, you're in trouble. But if it's the right person, then you can't stop a relationship from happening. You can't stop love from happening at any part of your journey. You could fall in love tomorrow, and you have to add that in your journey. You can't question love. Nobody questions love. That's the reason why social media trips people up. People don't understand that somebody falls in love with somebody on social media. You can't knock that person because love might be calling for them people. You can't just because connection is connection and connection is deep. Trust me when I tell you, connection is very deep. When somebody feels connected to somebody, it doesn't matter what their status may be. They're gonna find themselves attract each other, and they're gonna find themselves with each other, and that's just being a human being. That's something you can't stop, and people are understanding that now. Um, oh, shouts out to my boy Hollywood Shaq, man. Another one of the people that I watch. He has a brand, and I want to see him do good. I really want to see him do good because I know he got love for the brand, and I see him working hard, and he deserves it because he's been working this YouTube channel, and it's been going for him. But then we all find ourselves at a point where it's like we need more support. We need the people to really take their eyes off of that stuff and try to help us out here a minute so we can get to that point and we can serve you guys way better than we are. You know, it's hard. It's hard to. It's not easy being a fashion designer. It might be easy making things if you love what you're doing, but becoming a fashion designer, the business aspect of it, the business part of it, it's not easy, you guys. It's not easy. I know you see a lot of people think they're doing it, but a lot of those times, those people's stuff is not trademarked. They just putting stuff on thin canvas with no purpose. To be an actual fashion designer, it's a lot of work, you guys. It's a lot of work. That's why I'm taking my time with it. If I was rushing, I'd have made so many more mistakes. But now I can take my time. I can point them out and make it correct. Um, y'all want to talk on some Diddy real quick? Y'all want to talk some crazy stuff that I was just thinking in my head? But we gotta keep it between us, though. You can't even go out there and tell everybody. We're gonna talk about some things that I was thinking in my head. You can't go and tell everybody. Are y'all ready? In my head, I was thinking, for Diddy, if he told the world who he was sleeping with and lived his truth, that's crazy. Now, when it comes to the R word, you know what I'm talking about. I do not far away from that. Anybody that's criminal activity when you put that into play. But I'm talking about like so we at the point where we're realizing there's a possibility, I would say, because I don't want to disrespect people. People take that men. A lot of men take this serious when you say things like this. But there's a possibility that Diddy might be gay or bisexual, like men and women. And I think that's going to be an eye opener for the case because if that's the case, then all he will probably get in trouble for is underage sex, I guess. So if there's any underage or things like that, but when it comes, it's nothing wrong with being gay. Come on, now. I had many gay friends before. I have no problem with the gay community. You could just tell a person when they feel some kind of way towards the gay community. It always comes out and it just shows sometimes in certain people. People are people. People, you can't stop somebody from loving somebody else. What? I thought we was past that. And then time and time again, you get sprinkles of people just with their ignorance. I'm like, you? I thought you knew better. Them people ain't bothering you. Why you so worried about who he loves or who she loves? That's not, come on. How you gonna tell somebody, how could you, as a human being, how could you could, I'm surprised that people are not talking about how some people fall in love with pets. I know it's deep, it sounds crazy. But there's people out here living that fell in love with their cat or dog and they don't want to leave by their side. And there's nothing wrong with that. As weird as it may sound, there's nothing wrong with that. Because you can't stop people from loving who they want to love. Bottom line, once you get that out the way, you start looking at people different too. You start looking at people like, oh, oh, you was looking for love. Oh, you was hurt here. That's why that happened. Oh, okay. You see things with a clear view. Stop knocking people for what they are, who they love, and that was one of the things that made hip hop really. It slowed hip hop down a lot in the past years. It slowed hip hop down, and it took a while for hip hop to come to some kind of point where it's like kind of acceptable, but people still make fun of it. It's like we gotta grow up. We gotta do better than that, y'all. And I don't care if you clown me about it, but you gotta do better, man. What you worrying about if somebody is who they sleep with or who they love? What's that really? Why does that really bother you? I always ask, like, why does that really bother you? Sometimes people could be so cruel, man. Some people could be so cruel. I see sometimes my own black people, making fun of other black people that came from a lower income. What sense does that make, man? What kind of sense does that really make? You over there and you're making fun of people that's trying to, come on, man. That ain't it. You don't want to make rich look bad. You don't want to do that. Trust me. That ain't it. You could do better than that. I can't march with you on that one. I'm always here for my black people, but like my grandmother used to say, you can't be wrong and strong. I can't. I must always stand on what I say and what I believe in, because there's a lot of finger pointing out there to people. They ain't really do nothing to them. Ain't no. Unless you could call out the name, that's different. But if you gotta say they, them, and stuff, nah. Check yourself. Check yourself. Check yourself. Don't do that. Trust me. Don't do that. You can't do it to me. There's nothing you could pull away from me, man. You can't say he's not black. You can't do none of that with me, because my lineage is just so strong. Everybody that knows me knows what type of person I am. So they would never ever, like, even go across the wave. Or it'll be just like a meme or some stupid shit. As a black person, you have to be. All got to do better. We all got to do better. I know. You was Mr. Righteous and you thought it was going this way and that's the way you wanted it. Why don't you rearrange that and work it everybody that's doing something, work it in a way where everybody can get involved this time. Don't just group yourself to this amount of people, group yourself to these people. Try to find a way where everybody could get in there. Try that. Try that. Try it. Trust me, try it. Ain't everybody out there to hurt you. Ain't everybody out there to do bad things to you. Some people just want to come together and learn different things from different people. That's all it is for some people. There are people out there that's willing, they just very ignorant and they go out there and they just disrespect us black people because they know that we have a harder struggle. But that's kind of like, I look at that like, you know what? What type of person is that? When you really think about it, what type of person is that? Because I'm going to make it where I got to go no matter what, baby. It's not like my success stories. If I had to list the amount of success, I fight every time. I've always been a fighter, so I'm used to that. Like, when something reroutes, that's God telling you, don't go that route. I'm God's son, baby. I got the glow. I'm trying to tell you, I never in my life had like, if I said I don't want to do this anymore, that's from my heart. I don't want to do this. I'm going over here, and then something always happens. Like, oh, that's the reason why God always protected me that way. I don't know. It's because people can't read what you got inside. Only God could do that. So when you're pure inside, good things start happening to you, and there's gonna be people that doubt that, and that's understandable because they are supposed to. They don't know you, so there's gonna be people that doubt that. But you keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, and then that's it. You see the real person. Eventually, that's why I always say that eventually, no matter how much you're on social media, you might say here and there, you might say, nah, I ain't throwing no money up on social media. I ain't gonna show my Rolex on social media. And then one day, somebody ticks you off and you like, look at my watch. And you back on, got you. They saw it. It's there. That presentation of you. Be mindful of who you are as a person, so nobody can upset your energy. Nobody can twist your energy. If you feel a certain way, understand why they made you feel that way, and don't ever let that happen again. Don't ever. There's too much mental health problems and issues going on that is turning into other things that we see on the news. It all stems from mental health. I have anxiety. I know that. But I'm gonna tell you something. You can use your anxiety as a superpower. Um, because for me, like, I'm always on point. And I'm a Virgo, so I take things and I try to figure everything out. I try to figure out everything, okay? If it can't be figured out, I might have tried it 100 times before I just said, you know what, I'm gonna leave it. And it's kind of like I protect myself through my anxiety. I know this is what triggers this. I'm not saying this came all from me. This is coming from people helping me and letting me understand, what this whole thing is about. But things that trigger me, I stay away from all of that. I stay away from all of that. And I want you all to too, because I see a lot of people losing it every single day. And I'm like, man, if I could directly talk to that person, I could change their whole mindset of how they think and how they look at the situation. That maybe could might as well make them, instead of crying, they could probably laugh by the time I'm finished with them. We all human, yo. We all human. There's like some fake stuff going around, like they comparing love to money. Okay, so you're saying to me that you have to have a certain amount of money to have a relationship. Not true. Because when you fall in love with somebody, it doesn't matter how much money you have. Now, if you're trying to build a love with somebody, that means that you guys are not in love. You guys are not in love. You guys are not in love. Back in the day, I had a relationship. I'm not saying any names. I'm not into that. I'm sorry. You'll never catch me say a name unless I have some kind of consent from the ladies. I don't know who they messing with now. I'm not disrespectful on that, but one of my girlfriends in the past, I don't even. It's weird. I don't like even talking about people, but maybe another time because I don't like talking about. All right, one of my girlfriends in the past. I remember it was a rough time for me. The whole year was rough. I was getting no money, and yeah, it was around the time of the music stuff, just going to the paint for the studio and going back and forth. I didn't really have that much time to spend with her because I would always be at clubs at night, studio, all of that stuff just pushed me away from spending time with her. But her love for me, being that I didn't have it all, she would take me out to eat. She would, no, I want you to be here, eat that, because she knew my heart. It's not about how much money you have. I never had that problem because when I have it, you can have it. That's the type of person I have. When I have it, you can go in, you can take it, and that's still up to this day for my family. Like certain family members, like that my moms could get that, my brother could get that, my grandmother could get that, and my niece could get that, and my pops. If I have it, you ask, you got it, because I could get it again, no matter what. And that's how that unconditional love sets your mind away from how much money you have. But I also understand there's a part where in relationships, people just come in there to do you wrong, take stuff from you. You don't want that. You shouldn't be dealing with them type of people in the first place. That's how I feel. I never had a bad girlfriend, to be honest with you. It was just always missing understandings. I was never the guy with a bad girlfriend. I had a girlfriend from since I was a little kid. Like my first girlfriend, she was probably like I'm West Indian, so we my first girlfriend I was probably about 7, 8. It's different in our culture. And then you grow and then like because in the West Indians it's like, oh, look at them two together. So that's how kindergarten all the way up. I could name them all the way up. The ones that I'm serious, that was my girlfriend. Not girls that I mess with. Girls that I mess with, some of them I don't even remember. Some of them I do, some of them I don't. Some you gotta remind me. I have long, it's a lot. But as far as my girlfriends, yeah, I always had so my understanding of relationships is completely different than how, things in relationships are today. That's kind of the reason why it's completely different. I'm an old school lover. I think I spent enough time here, man. I gotta do some designing, and I want to start working on a new animation for the week, which I might drop Tuesday or Thursday. My mom's birthday is April 1st. You guys could wish her. Yes, her birthday is April 1st. Um, so I want to do something a little after. I'm gonna get after that. You'll see a lot of things coming in. You'll see a lot of episodes I do. That's gonna be dope. You guys, man, support the new brand, man. Inspired by Dreamzzz. It gets no better from your boy. You know, independent fashion designers. We're the ones that make the world go around because we're thinking from a creative space that hasn't been touched yet. This palette hasn't been touched yet. Everything I'm trying to bring to you guys are new, energizing, good vibes, and I don't know what else to say. What else to say? What else to say? Make sure you I see you guys are liking the animations. Like, share, subscribe. The channel's small, but I love y'all. It doesn't matter if we go up to 100 million, 100,000. It doesn't matter. Whoever's here, you're part of this time with me. I appreciate you guys. And tell a dreamer to tell a dreamer. It's your boy Mickey made it. Peace.